Abase is a verb which means to humiliate or degrade. Think give up a base. When you're making out with somebody, if you give up a base too quickly, you just abase yourself. Abashed is an adjective which means embarrassed. Think bashful the dwarf, like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. When Snow White kisses him, Bashful gets so abashed that he blushes. Aberration is a noun which means an exception or departure from the norm. Think a bare Asian. Seeing a bare Asian would be an aberration. Most people in Asia wear clothes. Abomination, which is a noun, means something awful. Think bomb a nation. It is an abomination to bomb a nation. Civilians get killed. Abrogate, a verb that means to get rid of or to abolish. Think a broken gate. After my 120-pound mastiffs decided to abrogate the barrier to the kitchen and eat from the garbage, we were left with a broken gate. Abstemious, adjective means sparing or moderate. Think abstinence. The health teacher knew that if he told students to be abstemious, some of them would still get pregnant, so he urged them to practice abstinence. Acerbic, adjective which means harsh or biting. Think acidic. On American Idol, Simon Cowell's criticism was acerbic to the point of being acidic. Acrimonious, which is an adjective meaning bitter. Think a crime on us. Committing a crime on us makes us acrimonious. Admonished, verb which means warned to do what's best. Think admonistat. Add monistat to your body if you're suffering from a vaginal yeast infection. The admonished. Anodyne, a pain reliever. It's a noun. Think am not dying. I have the flu, but my doctor prescribed anodyne. Finally has made me feel like I'm not dying. Assail, verb which means to attack violently. Think ass sail. Come at me, bro. If I assail you, I'll make your ass sail out the window. Avaricious, which is an adjective meaning greedy. Think have our riches. My boy band and I don't trust you as an agent, man. You're avaricious and just want to have our riches. Cowed is an adjective meaning intimidated. Think coward. The bully was at heart a coward. As soon as I stood up to him, he was cowed into silence. Crestfallen, an adjective which means dejected or depressed. Think crestfallen. When I saw that my Crest toothpaste had fallen off my brush into the sink, I was crestfallen. Culpable, an adjective meaning deserving blame. Think culprit. Unsurprisingly, the cop thought the culprit he had arrested was culpable. Cumbersome, adjective awkward due to large size. Think cucumber. It felt cumbersome to walk down the beach with a giant cucumber down the front of my Speedo, but I did get more attention from the ladies. Daunt, which is a verb meaning to intimidate or discourage. Think don't. My mean old Aunt Mildred would often daunt me when I was younger by screaming, "Don't!" whenever I got too loud. Debacle, a noun which means a complete disaster. Think debottle. I'm an alcoholic, so when I hit the bottle, the night usually becomes a debacle. Denigrate, a verb which means to attack the reputation of or to put down. Think deny I'm great. If you deny I'm great, you denigrate me. Denuded, a verb which means stripped bare. Think nude. Loggers denuded the forested rise, felling trees and trampling undergrowth until it was just a nude hill of earth. Diffident, an adjective meaning timid. Think difficult dentures. I'm diffident when in public because I'm self-conscious about how weird my difficult dentures look. Discomfit, a verb meaning to embarrass or confuse. Think discomfort. Realizing one's swimsuit had been replaced with a too tight Speedo would discomfort and discomfit anyone. Ebullient, an adjective meaning excitedly enthusiastic. Think Red Bull. After I chugged a giant Red Bull, I felt extremely ebullient. Enmity, a noun meaning hatred. Think enemy. I have enmity for my enemy. What else would you expect? Bart Simpson's Sideshow Bob. Ennui, a noun meaning dissatisfaction resulting from boredom. Think, ennui there yet? Take a 7-year-old on a long car ride and you'll hear the ennui in his voice when he repeatedly asks, ennui there yet? Eschew, a verb meaning to avoid. Think, achoo. Eschew people who say achoo unless you want to catch their colds. Exculpated, verb meaning freed from blame. If you commit a crime, think ex-culprit. If you commit a crime but have a clever lawyer, you'll be exculpated and be an ex-culprit. Extirpate, a verb meaning to get rid of completely. Think exterminate. If you have pests in your house that you want to extirpate, call someone who will exterminate them. Feckless, an adjective meaning weak, worthless, and irresponsible. Think F in class. If you get an F in class, your study habits were probably feckless. Fecund, adjective meaning fruitful or inventive. Think feces under. Spreading manure, i.e. feces, under your crops as fertilizer will make your harvest fecund. Flippant, an adjective meaning lacking respect or seriousness. Think flip off. If you're flippant, you probably flip people off on a regular basis. Flouted, a verb meaning treated without respect. Think flung out. The rebel flouted the rules so badly that he flung them out the window. Furor, which is a noun meaning an outburst of rage or excitement. Think furious. The governor's use of the Führer's, Hitler's, image in an ad made many furious and created an apolitical furor. Furtive, which is an adjective meaning done by stealth. Think furtive fart. Watch out for that kid. He will fart in class, but it's so furtive that he never gets blamed. Grandstand, a verb meaning to show off. Think handstand. If you're doing a handstand, it's probably to grandstand for an audience. Harangue, a noun meaning a ranting lecture. Think her ears ring. Her ears rang so much after the loud harangue that she joked she'd rather hang than listen to it. Hermetic, an adjective meaning protected from outside influence. Think hermit. The hermit lived in a hermetic cave that was only reachable via a treacherous mountain path. Heyday, a noun meaning one's best time period. Think heyday. During my heyday, when I was the starting quarterback and had a 4.0 GPA, all the girls said hey to me every day. Hidebound, an adjective meaning inflexible or ultra-conservative. Think hidebound, literally. The hidebound extremists were bound in animal hides and unsurprisingly were against gay marriage. Hubris, a noun meaning excessive pride or self-confidence. Think huge breasts. If a girl gets implants and suddenly has huge breasts, she may develop hubris from all the male attention. Idyllic, an adjective meaning pleasingly or naturally simple. Think ideal. The idyllic forest grove with its sunbeams, babbling brook, and butterflies seemed an ideal campsite. Impetuous, an adjective meaning impulsive or spontaneous. Think impatient us. Impatient people like us make impetuous decisions like betting on horses with cool names without researching them first. Impregnable, an adjective meaning unconquerable or impenetrable. Think impossible to get pregnant. Impregnable metal chastity belts in the Middle Ages made it literally impossible for women who wore them to get pregnant. Inculcate, a verb meaning to teach by constant repetition and warning. Think incult. In the cult of Scientology, they inculcated Tom Cruise until he was brainwashed. Ineffable, an adjective which means that which cannot be described in words. Think ineffable. There's a word beginning with F that you're not supposed to say, so if you can't describe something, it's ineffable, like that word is ineffable. Inviolate, an adjective meaning pure or intact. Think unviolated. The virgin tract of rainforest was inviolate. It had not yet been violated by greedy loggers. Irascible, an adjective meaning easily angered. Think irritable rascal. My grandfather is an irritable old rascal. He's so irascible that he yells at every waiter we ever get. Laudable, adjective meaning worthy of praise. Think applaudable. Something that's laudable is applaudable. Lurid, an adjective meaning sensational or shocking. Think lure in. The strip club's lurid neon silhouette of a naked woman was designed to lure in lonely gentlemen. Magisterial, an adjective meaning having strong authority or kingly. Think majesty. If people are greeting you by saying your majesty, you're probably looking magisterial. Wear that outfit again. Morass, noun, a situation that makes you stuck. Think molasses. Don't tailgate a molasses truck. If you run into it and it spills on you, you'll be in a morass. Morose, an adjective meaning gloomy. Think no rose. The bachelor contestant was morose because after the ceremony was over, she still had no rose. Nadir, think nads. A dude's nads are literally the nadir of his reproductive system. Pacific, an adjective meaning soothing. Think pacifier. The infant's pacifier had a pacific effect, and she was soon asleep. Paucity, a noun meaning lack of. Think poor city. In the poor city, there was a paucity of resources. Pendulous, an adjective meaning hanging loosely or sagging. Think pendulum. As the naked old lady danced, her pendulous breasts swung back and forth like the pendulums of grandfather clocks. Peripatetic, adjective meaning wandering, traveling, constantly moving from place to place. Think pitter-patter. The mouse in my house is peripatetic since I'm constantly hearing the pitter-patter of his little feet in the walls. Perquisites, which is a noun meaning privileges or bonuses. Think perks. Hey suckers, now that I'm CEO, I enjoy perquisites like a company helicopter and a gold wastebasket. Perks you'll never have. Phlegmatic, an adjective meaning sluggish or unresponsive. Think phlegm. When I had the flu, I had so much phlegm clogging my respiratory system that I was completely phlegmatic. Plaintive, an adjective meaning melancholy. Think complaint. Whenever I hear the plaintive cry of a seagull, it always sounds like a complaint about the bird's woes or travails. Plebeian, an adjective meaning common or low class. Think fleas be in. I don't stay at plebeian motels because fleas be in them. Prolix, an adjective meaning too long or wordy. Think prolific. After writing dozens of 1,000-plus page books, the prolific author was often criticized for his prolix writing style. Punctilious, adjective meaning marked by following the rules very strictly. Think punctual. The teacher's pet was both punctilious and punctual, but most of us just wanted to punch him. Pungent, an adjective meaning strongly scented. Think punch scent. The boxer's body odor was so pungent it was like getting hit by a punch of scent. Quash, a verb meaning to completely stop from happening. Think squash. The best way to quash an invasion of ants in your kitchen is simple. Squash them. Querulous, an adjective meaning whiny or complaining. Think quarrel-us. We'd invite you over more, but you're so querulous that you always end up in a quarrel with us. Quiescent, an adjective meaning at rest. Think quiet. The hibernating bear was both quiet and quiescent. Recapitulated, a verb meaning summarized. Think recap. His recap of the news nicely recapitulated the day's events. Resilient, an adjective meaning sturdy or flexible. Think Brazil nut. Have you ever tried to crack open a Brazil nut? Their shells are resilient. Sanguine, an adjective meaning optimistic. Think penguin sanguine. The penguin sang that he would win. He was sanguine. Scanty, adjective meaning barely sufficient or minimal. Think scanty panty. Thong underwear is basically just a really scanty panty. Scrupulous, an adjective meaning having integrity or being exact. Think scrape the poop. If you are scrupulous, you will scrape your dog's poop off my lawn. Skullduggery, a noun meaning tricky or sneaky behavior. Think skull he dug. The skull he dug up from the local cemetery proved he was a witch doctor who practiced skullduggery. Spendthrift, a noun meaning somebody who spends wastefully. Think spend before thrift. Spendthrift means someone for whom spending comes before being thrifty. Squalid, an adjective meaning filthy. Think squat lid. If the bathroom stall is squalid, squat over the lid when you pee. Stilted, an adjective meaning overly formal or stiff. Think stilts. The soldier's manner of walking was so stilted that it looked like his legs were actually wooden stilts. Stupefied, an adjective meaning stunned. Think stupid. Hermione cast the stupefy spell on Crabbe, who became so stupefied that he looked stupid. Surly, adjective meaning in a foul mood or ill-tempered. Think swirly. The school bully gave me a swirly. He stuck my head in the toilet and flushed it. That's why I'm so surly. Tempestuous, an adjective meaning stormy. Think tempers. Our hot tempers make us have a tempestuous relationship. Toothsome, an adjective meaning tasty or appealing. Think toothsome. The food looked so toothsome that I wanted to give my tooth some. Touted, a verb meaning praised publicly. Think shouted. Guinness Stout is highly touted. I know this because the guy drinking it next to me shouted its praises in my ear. Tremulous, an adjective meaning fearful. Think tremble. I felt so tremulous when I saw a shark swim underneath me that I began to tremble. Trepidation, a noun meaning fear. Think trap. The haunted house filled me with trepidation. I feared a trap would be sprung on me at any moment. Tumultuous, adjective meaning disorderly. Think tumbled us. The mosh pit was so tumultuous that it tumbled us around like a dryer. Undulate, verb meaning to move in a smooth, wave-like way. Think undo lace. You'll definitely turn on your lover if you undo your lace lingerie while slowly undulating your body. Unkempt, adjective meaning untidy. Think unkept. If you had just kept up with your personal hygiene, your hair wouldn't be so unkempt and birds wouldn't have nested in it. Usurp, a verb meaning to illegally take by force. Think you slurp. I know you're an anteater, but if you usurp my ant farm and you slurp up my ants, I'll be really angry. Vanquished, an adjective meaning defeated. Think van squished. If a van squished the ant crossing the road, then you could say that the ant has been vanquished. Vapid, an adjective meaning dull or airheaded. Think vapor. All vapor and no substance, MTV is so vapid that it makes me want to take a nap. Well, hope you enjoyed those, guys. Check out my Instagram, GRE vocab words, for more of these.